Hello Libra, Libra Rising and Libra Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for December 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you Libra people out there, remember that if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. And as an additional reminder, remember that these horoscopes are meant to talk about the big sweeping aspects and changes of what's going on in a given month in the background. So we're not really talking about the here today, gone tomorrow astrology aspects. If you are interested in more short-term aspects and angles, please check out your weekly horoscopes. The first half is always exclusively astrology, so there's something in it for everybody. So, what is going on this month anyway for you Libra people? Well, from the 1st to the 25th, we've got Venus, your ruling planet, in Sagittarius, in your third house of communications, pacts, and promises. And with Venus in your third house, we tend to see that people are, again, going out of their way to make good on promises or to prove loyalty to us through service. Whether this is friends, colleagues, neighbors, members of our generation, the third house rules siblings and cousins. And we also tend to see Venus also working double time because these helpful people are linking us to other opportunities. Whether they're linking us to work opportunities, business opportunities, or even love. One of the things for single Libras to pay attention to, with Venus in the third house, it is a much likelier situation that you could possibly meet love just a little bit outside of town. If you are, looking online or you're thinking about going out and meeting people, adding an extra 10 to 15 minutes to your commute may actually find you an eligible candidate between the 1st and the 25th. However, we do have Mercury retrograde in this area as well, from the 3rd to the 22nd of December. And with Mercury retrograde in the third house of communications, pacts, and promises, of course, we get more of that copy and paste textbook Mercury retrograde. It's definitely a time to be very important, be very careful when it comes to your commute, when it comes to local travel. You may be noticing that we have to take some detours, there may be roads closed, there could be issues, in transit. And so you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where you are, having to be late for work or anything along those lines. Be careful with Mercury retrograde as well during, in the third house, because it can indicate that sometimes, a contract or a promise can't be fulfilled as it was originally intended, either by the other person or by you. So this may require some renegotiation and revision. However, with Mercury retrograde in the third house, there's always a good thing to it. Yes, there is. And with Mercury retrograde in the third house, usually this is a time to renegotiate things that are also not working for you. If you need to make an adjustment to the terms of an agreement, if you need to actually go back and adjust what's fair and unfair, if you need to have something rewritten, if you need to appeal a decision, retake a test, anything along those lines, this is the time where you want to do it. On the 3rd, we have a full moon in Gemini, in your 9th house of higher education, travel, government, legal proceedings, as well as academia. And this full moon has its influence go for 2 weeks, so we're really talking about between the 3rd and the 17th of the month. This full moon brings a culmination and ending. This could bring an opportunity to close an outstanding legal or government situation that you've been wrapped up in, whether it's a court case, a debate, or maybe you're in the middle of trying to file for a passport or a visa, or something along those lines. This could also indicate a time where a lot of you could be wrapping up some kind of large school project, or maybe even getting ready to complete or plan a completion on a dissertation, or anything to do with higher education. This is definitely a good full moon for you. This is also a good full moon for broadcasting. The 9th house can indicate broadcasting and business relationships overseas and across national lines. So for those of you that work online, or you'd like to start a website, or you'd like to start an ad campaign for that 2 weeks, the energy is going to be at its maximum. And a lot of you may actually notice quicker results and a quicker payoff than you normally would, given the circumstances. On the 9th, we've got Mars, planet of action, energy, and conviction, moving into Scorpio, into your 2nd house. That is your earned income and employment sector. And it's one of the big areas where it's time to start earning a lot of money. And a lot of you Libras will be actually doing quite well by the end of the month. Remember, when Mars goes into any financial sector, in particular, it's houses 2, 6, or 10, we have the opportunity to increase our hours and increase our payable labor and thus get more compensation. It's a time to get a lot more overtime between the 9th and the end of January, and a lot of Libras, while everyone else usually goes into the new year fairly broke, will be coming out quite far ahead. And if you're looking to take any work home with you, again, get more hours at the end of the week or take on some more high-ticket assignments, this is the kind of energy you want to see. On the 18th, we've got a new moon in your third house of communications, pacts and promises, Sagittarius. And this energy, again, will be in influence between the 18th and the end of the month, 2 weeks. And with a new moon in the third house, a lot of you may actually be finding that there is a new contact or a new helper, maybe not necessarily a formal partner in terms of business, but it's more like a colleague, a friend, an ally, who comes to you that you do definitely want to keep on the phone. This new moon should bring somebody who perhaps can actually help you take care of things in a way that upgrades your quality of life as far as your business, the way you do work around your home, around your office, around your relationship, whatever. Usually with the new moon in the third, we see almost like a new consultant, a new personal advisor. And this can actually turn into somebody that would actually become a brilliant helper down the road. However, one of the things I would say with the new moon in Sagittarius is that this can also be a good time to promote yourself, just like the 9th house, but it has to do with publishing or submissions. Those of you who are thinking of getting something published, you're doing some content creation of some time, try and get it out there after the 18th. Mind you that Mercury is retrograde until the 22nd, but that does still leave plenty of time to get this new moon energy working for you even after it goes direct. On the 19th, we've got Saturn, planet of restrictions, obstacles, and discipline, moving into Capricorn, into your 4th house of home and family, where he will be for the next 2.5 years. Now, where Saturn goes, first of all, let's talk about Saturn in Capricorn, because it's a different thing. Saturn in Capricorn is way different than Saturn anywhere else, certainly different than Saturn in Sagittarius. Saturn in Capricorn is smooth, it's easier to process, it's easier to handle. Saturn's at home in his own sign, his energy radiates out, again, in a much more, I guess you could say, agreeable fashion, even though planets are indifferent. And with Saturn moving into Capricorn, Saturn's no longer the scapegoat that everyone makes him out to be. And I've said it in all the videos, and I'll say it here, Saturn shouldn't be a scapegoat no matter how you look at it, but and with Saturn in your 4th house of home and family, over the next 2.5 years, your attention is going to be drawn to the home front, to your families. What is going on when it comes to the way we are handling family dynamics, either with our blood relatives or our present nuclear family, such as, our spouse and our children. Saturn does get our attention, sometimes, yes, by bringing up issues and bringing up challenges to be faced, but usually it's something that we've not faced that we should. I always tell people, if something's going wrong with Saturn, it's because he's set fire to something you left on the back burner. And this could be something that happens. Be careful with Saturn in the 4th house. Sometimes things that we try to sweep under the rug when it comes to issues with relatives, issues with our past, they do come out and they do need to be faced. Sometimes Saturn in the 4th house of home and family can also make us go back and try and fix old issues that aren't even ours when it comes to, say, dealing with issues our parents brought with them, issues their parents brought with them, and giving a new lease on life for everyone, again, of your relatives, every one of your relatives here, and the way we relate to each other. Luckily, in the very beginnings of this, the Sun will be moving into your 4th house of home and family, and he'll be there from the 19th of this month, going through the 3rd week of January. And the Sun brings peace, the Sun brings healing, an opportunity for healing, an opportunity for getting some good positive energy and attention into the home and family front for all of you Libra people out there. And so we could actually be getting a chance of, again, recovering some family relationships, fixing things, patching over any rough spots that have been, maybe lingering for a bit too long, and thus lightening the load, or bringing some levity to that Saturn energy. It gets even better, because on the 25th, Venus will be joining them, where she will be there through the end of January as well. And there will be an opportunity to attract, not only good energy back to the relationship with your family, but also attract new opportunities to your household that may actually increase household earning power, home economics, and bring some improvements to, again, just quality of life in general, which is basically the focus of Saturn being there in the first place. As I said to the Leos and I said to the Virgos, it looks like the last week of the year and the first week of the new year are going to be all about showing you how good it could be, and then leaving you out in the wilderness to see if you can maintain it. So, it'll be fun. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.